The BBC is whitewashing Israel's genocide of Palestinians. This BBC article describes the aftermath of Israel's genocide in Gaza, but from the opening line, it hides behind euphemisms. It begins by mentioning a still shaky ceasefire. But who is making it shaky? A quick search reveals nearly 500 ceasefire violations by Israel and fewer than 20 by Hamas. The BBC doesn't mention that. Parts of Gaza City are disfigured. And this is when the passive language begins, devastation without a perpetrator. Almost 300,000 houses and apartments have been damaged or destroyed. The Gaza Strip is littered with 60 million tons of rubble mixed with unexploded bombs and dead bodies. But the BBC never states who destroyed those homes, who dropped those bombs, who created that rubble. The language reads like a natural disaster hit Gaza, not a military assault by Israel. More than 68,000 people have been killed in Gaza in the past 2 years. Killed by whom? These aren't mysterious casualties, and nearly half are women and children. Why can't the BBC say Israel killed these people? The article then considers options for rebuilding Gaza, even floating the idea that war criminal Tony Blair could help lead the so-called Board of Peace, which we now know has been confirmed. The article repeats the board's absurd phrase, voluntary relocation, as if anyone can voluntarily relocate when 90% of Gaza's infrastructure has been destroyed. The piece ends by warning that the ceasefire hangs by a thread, yet once again refuses to identify who is cutting that thread, and at no point does the BBC use the word genocide. Instead, it calls the systematic slaughter of Palestinian civilians a war.
This is a genocide happening in front of our eyes.
That word is, as you know, incredibly emotive, and the Israelis, as you know, will be saying that they are targeting Hamas.
I don't want to go down the avenue around genocide. We know
this isn't an editorial oversight, it's a pattern. This study found more than 150 BBC articles using passive phrases that remove responsibility from the headlines. The BBC repeatedly avoids naming Israel as the aggressor in Gaza, and more than 100 BBC staff members have accused the organization of giving excessive weight to Israeli statements while minimizing Palestinian suffering. By softening the story, the BBC isn't just misreporting. It's participating in the cover-up of a campaign of systematic destruction. We must insist that genocide is named and that responsibility is assigned, because when you remove the perpetrator from a genocide, you protect the perpetrator.